Thank you, Imma, for the presentation, and thank you for inviting me to this workshop. I've heard very interesting things today. I've named my presentation "A Media Company in the E-commerce Arena" with a question mark because this is a question they always do to me, and we had a lot of internal discussions about that question. So I would like today to talk to you about three things. First thing is why a media company enters into the e-commerce arena. Second thing is how we are doing or we've done it. And third thing is share some learnings we had in the last 2 years in some of the business models we've entered in the e-commerce. But first of all, for those who don't know, I think Bertelsmann is a well-known company around the world, but I will briefly explain what Bertelsmann Group is and the different divisions. Bertelsmann, as Inma said, is one of the largest media companies in the world, and we have four divisions and what we call Bertelsmann Corporate, which is an addition of several things like investment funds, etc. We have a television division with RTL Group that has a participation in Spain, about 20-something of Antena 3. It's not very well known because they always say that Antena 3 is the Planeta television, but they have the same share as Bertelsmann. We have Arbato Bertelsmann, which is one of the largest business process outsourcing company in the world for B2B services, and very focused now on e-commerce services, all the supply chain of the company, since big data, logistics, etc. We have G&J, which is the largest company, magazine company, publisher in Europe. It's magazine and websites. We used to call them media company, not magazine company now. And we have Random House, which is the largest book publisher in the world and will be even larger after the merger with Penguin. Okay, in Spain, G&J, as Inma said, I'm responsible in Spain for all the online business and new media at G&J. I've been in G&J during for 4 years now, and I've been also responsible for all online mergers and acquisitions internationally, especially in China and India, which is our focus of expansion. So for those who don't know G&J, because some of the brands of G&J are more well known than the brand G&J, we have Ser Padres, we have Cosmopolitan, we have Muy Interesante, we have Marie Claire, Atractivas. These are, and they have some print magazines and some with of course the new media part, and some websites only websites. And we have 3 new projects in the e-commerce arena. Boutique Secret, which is the leading family private sales club that we launched 2 years ago. We bought a small platform. I will talk about that later, and we scale it. Now we have 1 million moms or dads or whatever in our database after 2 years of operations. And Monazen, which is a group buying site for wellness, for the niche of wellness, and Family and Bonus, which is a group buying site for families, for family plans. It does that. Okay, what's the starting point for this strategic move? Why a media company gets into e-commerce? 3 years ago, these are figures from 2011 and 2010, and for the United States, but the situation is very similar in Europe and Spain. We see those shocking charts. So this chart on the right is the evolution of it's the evolution of the print and online advertising revenues for newspapers in the US. So it's quite shocking. This is, the inflation is there, so it's taken into account. So you see that in the last 5-6 years, all the value created during decades has been lost. And you have there in the blue line is the online revenues for the newspapers. So you see a huge gap between online revenues and print revenues, and it's because of the dynamics of the industry. When you look at the chart, the magazines, the situation is not so dramatic, but it has the same trend. So basically what we concluded that decline in print publishing that all the publishers in the world are having right now won't be ever compensated by online publishing revenues, because for two reasons. The online advertising market has totally different dynamics that we are used to in the print advertising market, and on the other hand, you cannot sell content or general content online. And we agree on that. So we concluded that one, we still wanted to be a leader in the online industry. We wanted to retain the company's growth because we were losing print revenues, and we were losing print revenues, and basically we couldn't rely only on online publishing to do that. So that was the starting point strategically, and we concluded that we needed to expand to other online business models to achieve that vision. The question was how we do it, because finally I go to my first question: why a media company in the e-commerce field? What do we sell? We sell shoes, we sell cars online. So we started, okay, let's ask ourselves what are core competencies, what do we know, what do we have to build this e-commerce. So we say, okay, we are experts in verticals. G&J is expert in different verticals. Family, we will show you. With Ser Padres, we're experts in beauty and wellness, in women. With Cosmopolitan, Marie Claire, etc., we are experts. So if we see what we had, with the example of serpadres.es, which is the leading website in family in Spain, we say, okay, we have very good relationships with users. We are providing them premium content, web, video. Of course, we are expanding the online publishing business, mobile, the community, and we have very good relationships with the brands, that because we are not selling only advertising space, we are helping them to communicate with those users. So, okay, let's see the market. Why don't we help brands that are the same brands that are communicated to their clients to, for instance, sell their stocks while not damaging the brand, which is the flash sales business. It says, I have stocks, I'm a brand manufacturer, I have stock, and I sell it at a very discounted price, but I tried not to damage the brand. That's the business of One Privé, by VIP, etc., etc. So we created and say, and we are specialists in that vertical, so we can talk to the brands and explain them our intentions. And we created Boutique Secret, which, as I told you, is the leading niche player in the market, in the family market. It's a private club, it's a Privalia One Privé, only focused on family needs and products for families, or for the fact of having children. We have 1 million moms after 2 years of operations, so this is growing quite nicely. That was our first entry in that segment, and our next steps probably are in beauty. You have a question?
Yeah.
Okay.
How many unique visitors does the company?
We have 2 million visits a month, which that accounts for around 400,000, 500,000 unique visitors. It's very seasonable, this business. So finally we say, okay, why don't we do the same with the small business? Because our target was brands and users, but we have the small business that they have services for the families and for the moms and dads. So we say, okay, that fits with a business model that is working, that right now is being developed basically by generic companies like Lexbonos, Privalia. We said, okay, when you receive a mail from, I don't know, Lexbonos now, you don't know what you will receive. Maybe it's an iron machine, or it's a plan for going to a restaurant. So maybe there's a space just for plans for families, because that provides some content because you always need, if you have children, you don't know what you will do the next weekend, so that provides value in terms of information on what to do, and also the deal. So we are testing, this is in beta testing, we are launching now Family and Bonus, which is .com, which is a group buying website just for family plans. Okay, this is a vertical. Our strategy is owning the online verticals in family. We are doing that. We are the leading company in content. We are the leading company in private sales, and we will try to be the leading company in group buying. But the next step is beauty, basically, and we have also a beta testing in group buying for wellness niche, which is monathen.com, which is basically the wellness plans and beauty plans. Okay, third thing, I'm trying to go fast because I'm the last, and eight things that we've learned. There are a lot more, and basically, as Imma asked me, speak to entrepreneurs. Basically, I'm in a multinational, but I consider myself an entrepreneur. I'm launching a lot of projects there, so I name myself an entrepreneur. Some we already knew, okay? The first thing is that I didn't know. You're rich, and we are talking about the leading website in family, the leading website in beauty. The rich, they always ask me, oh, it's easy for you because you have the audience, so you will build easily an e-commerce. That's not true. That's not true. Unless it's huge, like a newspaper, etc., then you cannot focus in a specific niche. You need to build the audience of the e-commerce yourself, and then you get the synergies. A curious thing is that we are the leading company in content, part of the DS, because we have built the e-commerce and had synergies in marketing, not the other way around. That would be a common thinking. So unless it is huge, you need to build your database, you need to invest. The second thing is the best way. We are always talking about virality, but when it comes to e-commerce, the best way to assure viral effect is to have a wallet full of money to invest in search engine marketing and all efficient channels to no money, no traffic, no database, no sales. And that you see in some of these niches, that because finally the technology, it's important when you are very big. It's not so important to make a small e-commerce. You have Magento, you have PrestaShop, you have all sorts of technologies that allow you to start up an e-commerce, but you need traction. And you don't get traction if you don't have some hundreds of thousands of people in your database, especially in the flash sales and group buying industry. Third thing, take nothing for granted, just test it. I heard that 30 years of research thinking that waiting was a problem. Maybe it's not so granted. Even the most conventional thing, and we've tested sometimes with brands, big brands, you link a non-known brand to a well-known brand, and this is, it's easy. Well, we've tested with some brands, and in some cases there's no difference in terms of signing up for membership if you link non-known brand to a well-known brand. This is curious, but test everything. Link it to that intuition is nice, but knowing the reality is great. So I used to say to my teams, nobody knows nothing. So you have the hypothesis, okay, I have 10 years experience, maybe I know that probably, but things change. The consumer changes, so you have to experiment. You have to experiment and validate and act accordingly to see the conversion rates, if the right button is best, that if an Arial font is better than a Verdana font, so little things that make a lot of difference if you test it. Link it to that, measure everything, analyze, but don't get blocked by analysis. There was a question here to start up. How do we start? Don't start for start with the basic. You need trial and error so just go on, start things, and then start to measure and act accordingly after. Don't get sophisticated before you have to be sophisticated. It was mentioned also in your presentation, especially in flash sales, it's all about product and price. Consumers, I mean, they are informed. If they aren't, they see the deal and they Google the deal. So don't take them to lose their time with a product that it's more expensive or less quality that in another deal that it's in the same day and they can get in the aggregators. So don't waste the time of the consumer with non-competitive proposals. Link it to the testing and the buttons and the price right or left. Production and copy is incredibly important. We've seen that conversion rates can vary from dropping 50% or rising 100% with different packs, with different laying out in the site. So this is very, very important. And finally, and this is our approach, we think that the trend is to be niche. As always happens, the first phase of a business is generic. I sell everything, but there are some niches, and beauty is one of them, family is one of them, but there are others that, especially in the flash sales and group buying, which basically are the business models we're entering, because they have to do with communication, which is one of our core capabilities, will be niche in the future. Okay, I've tried to go fast. Thank you very much. Any questions?